episode of our brand new Instagram Marx Library Live. I don't know what total number of episodes we're on now.
Too many.
But
this is brand new and exciting. So yeah, we missed last week because of Gordon. Gordo. So yeah, this week we're actually going to talk about what we planned for last week, which is probably more timely this week than it was last week. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves.
Okay, let's do it.
So,
I am Stephanie Eversard. I am the Social Sciences Librarian at the Marx Library at the University of South Alabama.
And I'm Beth and Stephanie. I am the Arts and Humanities Librarian here at the Marx Library. Okay, so let's just jump right in, right? Because we're trying to keep it to 15 minutes.
We're trying to keep it to 15 minutes,
okay.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk to you about something very important, and that is...
And dear to us.
And a problem that we see a lot, and that is how to read an assignment that your professor has given you.
Or how not to read an assignment.
Yeah, or how not to read it.
Don't do bad things, do these good things.
Because we know you get an assignment, you look at it, and you're like, oh my god, how am I supposed to do this?
Or, oh my god, I got this.
Right. So it's often one or the other.
And then you do the assignment, you get your paper back, and you're like, oh, I missed the boat.
Where did I go wrong?
What happened?
And
your professor tells you,
mistake.
yeah, I have chosen poorly. Your professor tells you, like, hey, great paper, although you didn't answer what I wanted you to do. And you're like, oh, okay. So these tips we're going to give you help avoid that problem.
All right.
Right? Let's just jump right in.
Okay, so the first piece of advice that we would give you is to actually read the entire assignment sheet from beginning to end.
Derp.
Well, you would think it would be obvious, but often students, they see the title and it says, like, article summary, and they're like, man,
I can do that.
Yeah, but what it turns out is that the professor's asking for something different, or it's not really what you think it is.
The professor's buried the headline, like in the third paragraph of the assignment prompt. Yeah.
And there usually is also really important information about, like, when it's due, how long it's got to be.
Requirements, right? Source requirements, potentially.
Do you have to have, what'd you say?
Source requirements.
Yeah. Do you need sources? Do you not need sources?
What kind of sources?
What kind of citation style should you be using?
That's usually buried in the assignment prompt, right?
So read the whole thing from beginning to end.
Yeah, that's kind of derp, but do it.
Yeah.
The second one that we would say is don't assume it's just like some other assignment that you've written before or paper you've written before, right? So, I wrote a paper in 102 about whatever, criminal justice reform, right? You wrote a paper about it in 102, but now you're in a criminal justice class. I guarantee you the approach to the paper should be very different, right?
Right. Or, like, let's say you were in a lit survey and you wrote a close reading of a poem. What you're writing now in, like, an upper level lit class
is going to be very different.
It's going to be very different. So don't see it and be like, I know how to do that.
Yeah. Again, that comes with, like, reading the assignment,
and
right?
And especially don't think it's, like, something you did in high school. So it's not
that's a really good point.
Not necessarily that you're going to recycle a paper, but one thing I've encountered is, like, with a research paper in high school, it was basically, like, regurgitating facts.
Yeah, a report rather than like
report. Yeah,
right,
but they called
an
it a
analysis.
Research paper.
Right, yeah.
And research papers in college are very different.
Very, very different. Yeah. So don't get hung up on something you've done before.
Yes. Okay, so the next
this
thing,
one's really good.
When you are looking at the assignment, there are going to be words that tell you what to do.
Imagine that. Words that will tell you what to do.
But there are certain terms, like these verbs, that professors use, and they mean different things. And I think sometimes students think they all mean the same thing.
Right. So report and analyze are two very different verbs.
Different things.
And they want you to do very different things.
Right. So
what are some kind of verbs we're talking about? So report, analyze,
summarize,
compare,
discuss,
describe.
I'm trying to think of some others.
I think those are the big ones, right? But they all actually want you to do something very different.
Right.
Like, compare two articles is very different than
analyzing an article.
Analyze two articles.
Right.
Two very different things.
And very, very different from summarizing two articles.
Yeah. So pay attention to those words, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know what they mean, look them up.
Look them up or ask what they mean.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I think sometimes students are nervous about asking their professors to clarify an assignment. You feel like that's kind of like maybe stepping on their toes a little bit. Like, it's not. They want you to ask questions. They would much rather you ask the question.
Turn in a good paper.
They'd much rather read a good paper than read a paper that does not answer the question at all.
Because they want you to learn something from it. They don't want you to struggle through it.
And I guarantee you somebody else in your class has the exact same question you do. They're just not bold enough to ask. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Number 4.
So very or number 3. If you come across, you want to handle it?
No!
Oh, okay.
No.
If you're looking at an assignment, and this was actually the manager at the Writing Center gave me this one.
Ooh, okay.
If you're looking at an
So
assignment,
legit.
it's legit. Yeah. if you're looking at an assignment and you see maybe those words that we just gave you, or some other terms that are maybe unique to your discipline, like I've seen this in anthropology, some of these words come up,
Right.
and you don't know what they mean. Again, ask about them, look them up, look in your readings. And that's actually going to go into the next one. But don't let them freak you out. Don't panic just because you don't know what something means.
Yeah. Okay. Number 5 is do all the pre and prep work that's required to actually fulfill the assignment. Right?
And you might actually better understand some of those unfamiliar terms.
Right. So a lot of times we see assignments where the assignment may be broken into multiple parts, right? Don't skip to your favorite part, which is part 5, and not do parts 1 through 4, right? Because they probably they're designed to build on each part, right? So you need to do the research before you can write the paper, not the paper before you do the research and then try to shove it in later.
Or if the professor's given you readings or homework assignments, those things almost always will tie into the major projects in some way.
Yeah.
And so that might give you like terminology you need to work with or theory that you need to apply.
Work with. Yeah, so don't skip around, don't like sample, like work through the process, right? This actually also, so your professor may break it up, like a major research assignment, into smaller assignments. So like don't blow off the annotated bib because it's due like with the final paper, right? Like do the annotated bib ahead of time. Like don't.
And it will save you so much trouble in the long run.
Yeah, seriously. And you can also fix stuff that went wrong before your final paper.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. You'll get feedback and you'll be able to fix things. So I'm actually going to add one more in here.
Yeah, okay, what?
Another thing is I would suggest asking for examples.
Oh, that's a really good,
So if you're not sure what something's supposed to look like, ask if you can see what someone did in a previous semester.
Yeah, because I think organizing papers freaks students out a lot, right? So like if you can see what your professor would consider a well-organized and well-supported paper, then you can maybe go like, oh, okay, especially if it's your first longer length paper,
right.
I think.
Or sometimes these assignments are just weird, and it's not like, well, it's true.
I mean, we see them, we know, we're like, whoa.
And you can't really know what a professor wants until you see how it's been done in the past.
Yeah, and if your professor can't give you a sample paper, they can probably tell you exactly kind of what they're looking for. Or they may be able to provide you with the rubric that they're using to grade the paper.
Right, yeah. Which often, those expectations are included in the assignment sheet to begin with.
Yeah, we hope so.
We hope so.
Faculty out there,
if you're
listening. Include that stuff with your assignment so they know what you want them to do. Okay, so I guess the last thing too, and we kind of talked about this a little bit, but just don't be afraid to ask questions, right? Meaning ask your professor, ask the Writing Center, or ask your friendly librarian, right? Chances are this is not the first time we've seen that assignment. Nope. Like probably, especially if it's a confusing one, we'll put it that way, or less than obvious assignment. We have probably seen it before, and we've probably talked to your professor about it.
Yes.
So we've probably called them up, emailed them, and been like, what exactly do you want here? So we probably have a pretty good idea. Same goes with the Writing Center, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah, they keep files of assignments.
Yeah, and they've seen it before.
We can also help explain to you some of the requirements that you might not understand. Like, they're looking for a particular source, and you don't know what that means. Like, what's a case study? You know?
Oh, yeah. Or they want you to do a literature review, and this is your first time doing a lit review, and you're like, what does that mean? Yeah. Right? Or what does that mean for my discipline rather than a different one? Right? Because they all kind of do things differently.
They do.
So, yeah, ask away. Ask questions. Ask for examples. And
if you're not sure, just ask the professor to explain it to you.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for.
Again, faculty, if you're listening. Right? Okay, so that was like fast, but we're trying to keep it to 15 minutes. I think we did a good job.
Yes, we did a great job. Yeah. So does anybody have any questions? We actually have a
couple people watching today, which is very cool. I'm hoping this whole Insta thing.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll take off. So.
I'm hoping we'll maybe set Instagram, like we will make Instagram.
Oh, I meant our Instagram thing, not Instagram itself. I'm
maybe this whole Instagram thing will take off now that we're on it.
I know they've been waiting. Right. They've been courting us for some time.
All right, guys.
All right. Well, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Or get in touch with us.
All right. So the regular shebang at the end.
All right. So you're probably already following us on Instagram, but if you're watching this later, we are on Instagram as Marx.Library.
It's kind of like number one, derp.
Right. We're on Facebook as Marx Library, South Alabama. We are on Twitter as
nobody tweets except, you know who. Nobody tweets.
USA_library. And I think that's it, right?
I think that's
media.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're good with the social media. So we're hoping to actually archive these stories in our, like, the new IGTV.
Right, that's right. We already do have a channel, so when you're on our Instagram, you should be able to click the little TV icon and it'll take you straight there. But there's nothing in there yet, so...
Fancy! So hopefully they'll be archived there if all goes well. We press all the right buttons.
Yes. We'll see.
But, yeah, follow us on all of our social media. And next week, what are we talking about?
It'll be a surprise for everyone.
It'll be a surprise, but it's listed somewhere.
Yeah, we have a general idea.
It's kind of how we roll.
We like to keep things fast and loose.
All right, guys.
Well, everyone. See you next week.
Have a nice week. You press buttons now.
I think it's just end.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
No, and there's like more
and
weird end time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you sure you want to end? Are you quite certain?